Okay, so as you've probably noticed by now, I am already a few miles into this ride. I didn't see any point in recording me going through and having to stop at every street corner, every light, everything. And ironically, it turns out I didn't have to. I made it through a bunch of lights, and then I, maybe went against the light a few times. So, but I did have to stop a couple of times, because cars were there, and I didn't want to be the guy that got hit by a car or a truck or something. I'm allergic to death. So, the road to the left of me is Colorado Boulevard. You've heard me mention it before. But if you go down far enough south here, you hit City Park. Now, City Park is different than Civic Center Park. City Park is still a giant park, but it also is home to the Museum of Nature and Science, the Denver Zoo, and a few other little things. I'm going to move over here into this lane because the sidewalk did not look thick enough for me and that dude and anything else that happened. So I apologize for the extra noise. I decided to go ahead and start recording because I was in that park and the path was tree lined, and I thought, oh, this is nice. Oops, dang. I hate riding in the gutters. That's where a lot of random pieces of things end up, like nails, screws, bolts, pieces of metal that fell off of other vehicles, things like that. So I was hoping that there would be a bike path on Colorado here, considering it is a state highway. I believe it's Colorado Highway 2. And because it's, if you look at a map, it's usually listed as CO2. CO2. Anywho, here we go. So this is a golf course, and from what I recall, just reading the local papers and stuff, Denver might be shutting this golf course down or something. I don't know. Something about it's not making any money, so they were getting community feedback on what to do with the property. I'm always encouraging more parks, especially parks with, what do you call them? I don't know what the proper technical term is because I'm not a parks specialist, but parks with amenities such as, pool, a BMX track, maybe some disc golf or dog training area, things like that. And then you still want to have your open everyday stuff, but your open lands for people to do whatever they want to do on. But yeah, and then this light up here straight ahead, that should be the corner of Civics or City Park. And we'll see what's going on at City Park. It is Tuesday. There's probably not a lot going on. I know on the weekends sometimes, especially during the summer, they'll do free jazz concerts. So it gets pretty packed over here. And then of course there's the museum and the zoo and everything else. So it usually stays pretty busy over here. So the little guy says it's safe to go, but a lot of people are turning, so gotta make sure I don't get hit. And whoopsie, come over this way to see all this wasted water because, Colorado loves to waste water. I say that mockingly because Colorado is technically a desert, and we can't afford to waste water. And yet everywhere you go, you see sprinklers like that just, either running into the street or running on a sidewalk or something, just wasting water. I'm gonna have to go slow for these people. There's not enough room to go around them, and I'm not gonna jump into the road. Oh, this is like Public Works or something, Parks Department. I thought this was a police. Oh, you're fine. Hi. Yeah, excuse me. Hi, puppies. Hey, puppies.
They say hi back.
Oh, thanks. I don't know if you heard her. I was saying hi to the dogs, and she's like, oh, yeah, no, they all say hi back to you. Like, all right. So right here to my left is the Museum of Nature and Science. You can see that sprinkler going right into the driveway. But a lot of the pictures of the city of Denver that you see with the mountains, the skyline and the mountains in the background, actually get taken from a place at the museum here. So that's kind of interesting. Third or fourth floor, there's an observation deck. And a lot of people go up there, and that's where they take their photos. So, I hear a car behind me. But yeah, and then up here with this green fence, I believe that is the Denver Zoo. I've been there a few times, not that often, because I don't like seeing animals in captivity. But yeah, I believe this is the zoo off to my right-hand side, the museum off to my left-hand side, which I do like both of them, don't get me wrong. I just hate seeing animals in captivity unless they are incapable of being free on their own, such as lame or maimed animals, animals that were born in captivity and don't have the skill set to survive on their own, which is its whole other terrible thing. And then the Museum of Nature and Science, they do, I mean, a lot of it's the same because, you know, polar bears haven't changed that much in the last 10,000 years. Coyotes, eagles, you know, whatever. But there are some, they do get new displays or new shows or whatever in there every once in a while. And that can be fun. Like, for example, when my family was here one year, they had a mythical creatures exhibit. So unicorns and what they would look like if they were bare bones. And I'm just going to go around here a little bit, just because. And then what I thought I'd do, because there's people over here on the lake in their paddle boats. They're pedal boats. You pedal the paddle. Anywho. And you can see, let's get over here and I'll show you. So straight ahead is the museum. And if you look at the top, you can see the, I'm going to zoom in real quick. You can see the, the shelters there. That is where people will often take pictures of downtown Denver, which, let me pivot this thing. Oh, it's heavy. If you pivot, you get this boathouse right here, and then you can see the skyline in the background there. But from a little bit higher, you get more of it. So a lot of photos of the city of Denver get taken from right there. There's that high-rise apartment complex or condo complex right there. It probably gets great views of the cities and mountains. I wanted to get up over here on this sidewalk off to the right, but apparently, well, there is enough people on it that I didn't want to get in their way, especially the people with dogs. Not because I'm scared of dogs or anything, because I don't want to become a problem for them. So, yeah, I don't want to be the guy that, like, you know, the dogs are trying to chase down or bark at or whatever, and give the people walking the dogs a more difficult time than they already have. But right here on the other side of the park is, I want to say this is I believe this is 17th. I thought it was Colfax off the top of my head, but I believe it's 17th. and I want to take 17th back down through Denver back to where I started. But I'm only 6 miles into my ride, so we got some time and some stuff. I'm trying to hit at least like 20 miles roughly a day. So I got plenty of space here. Got plenty of battery. Between yesterday and today, though. Hey, puppy, how's it going? I did lose some battery. Did lose a tick mark. Oop, there's a border collie. Love me a border collie. Hey, puppy, what's up? Hi.
Hey.
Hi. So yeah, and I didn't know they had these bicycle thingies up here. Oopsie. This is very similar to Wash Park. Wash Park's a little further south, and one of these days I'll make the ride out there and go around. But there's a lot of tracks, you know, a lot of paths like this for walking, running, cycling. You'll see people skateboarding or whatever, inline skating. They actually ended up passing a rule a few years ago because so many people were coming out to Wash Park and City Park and doing yoga. And there were yoga and, you know, freelance yoga instructors that were teaching yoga in the parks, and the parks got upset that the parks are being used for yoga for profit, which I get, but I also don't get. Like, I get it. You don't want people using public property for their own profit. Oops.
She's just gonna fly down.
Yeah, I wasn't going to wait for them to decide what they were going to do. But, yeah, but, you know, that's also a story as old as time. You know, companies, corporations, the country over use our public lands for private profit. You know, ski resorts in Colorado are a perfect example. Most ski resorts are on public property. They're in national forests or national state forests. Oh, I thought maybe there was a trail over here, but there's not. You know, drilling, that's a big one for Republicans, is every time a Republican's in office, they're like, let's open public lands to drilling. You know, let's let private entities make profit off of public interest. Which, again, it's kind of hypocritical for any level of government to say we don't want that when they have that. So, in my opinion. Now we can talk about, you know, the federated government, you know, the difference between federal and state and local, you know, blah, 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 rights and everything else, which, you know, are all valid arguments. Remember what I said yesterday, devil's in the details. But, you know, again, Colorado's got a lot of national parks. How you doing? Colorado has a lot of national forests. Colorado has state parks and state forests. And it has, you know, Denver anyway, the Denver metro area has a lot of parks, which is, you know, quality of life issues. But to sit there and tell, you know, Bob, the yoga instructor, that he can't have 6 people out there doing yoga together, you know, because he's making $20 a person, it's just kind of, it's like, well, you know, you do know there's a food truck over there, right? Yeah, sure, the food truck might have permission, but still. It's, again, it's kind of just a little hypocritical. But, you know, this guy at my gym, I think he's a private personal trainer because he's at the gym like 12 hours a day. And he looks like it. You know, he's probably my age, if not a little older, but he's in really good shape. Doesn't have any fat on him like most people my age do. And he's just always there working out with different people at different times a day. So I think he's a private personal trainer, which is technically against the rules, but my gym doesn't enforce any rules. I mean, I'm not the kind of guy that likes a lot of rules, I think people should be allowed to create what they want to create without somebody telling them what they have to do all the time. It's one of the reasons I hate being micromanaged, and I hate micromanaging my people. But yeah, okay, so this is 21st, which means the big road down there is probably still... That dude's wearing a vintage hat. It said Wayne's World. Yeah, we'll go. It's just because the traffic is leading us that way. I thought I'd go through the neighborhood there and then up and around, but I'm not. Because I don't want to wait for the light. Historic buildings, historic houses off to the right-hand side. This is a very expensive neighborhood. When I say very expensive, I mean extremely. Like, I can't afford to live in this neighborhood. Expensive. And most people who are not like lawyers, doctors, or you know, special IT people can't afford to live around here either. Because one of these little houses, not the big ones, but even the little ones, might be $3,000 a month to rent. You know, for a lot of people, that's more than they make every month. But, you know, you pay for access, you pay for the park, it's quality of life, you pay for the historic buildings, because it's, you know, the aesthetic that you're looking for, which I like. I would love to be able to live over here. I mean, I might be able to find like an apartment or something, like a little studio, barely, you know, bigger than a tent. In my price range, but I'm gonna follow this guy because I don't know what traffic is doing. Oops, there we go. And now I'm gonna go this way because apparently traffic's doing its own thing. Whew, those cars took off like a bat out of hell. I almost got hit. Like, the light turned green and they took off. They did not wait. This is 18th, okay, so I still need to go 1 block south. Yeah. And that's why I need to be careful when I'm downtown, because, you know, you get the people that'll stop half a block away to let you cross, which is annoying in itself. And then you get the people like that that are like, yeah, I'm going to take off like a bat out of hell because this is my racetrack. And, because there were two different northbounds. One was kind of a northwestbound and one was kind of a northbound, and I wasn't sure which one was changing to a green light first. And then, like I said, they just kind of took off real quick. So, anywho. And, you know, that Tesla, I think it was a Tesla, actually was trying to beat me. It, like, took off like a bat out of hell, the one that I had to stop for, because it was going to hit me. And I'm allergic to being hit. So, there's that. Alright, this is 17th. Is there a bike lane here? Or do I got to do the sidewalk thing? No. I was kind of hoping for a bike lane. Alright, the only reason I'm in the road right now is because these people over here were walking and dude had a dog. I mean, I guess I can go down to Colfax, which is only another block or two south. So, we'll do that. But yeah, this kind of neighborhood, these houses, yeah, no way in hell. These are probably close to $1 million houses. Just because of the neighborhood. Now I'd have to look. I mean, some of these, like that one, I think is a duplex. That one has been converted into offices. This one looks like a house. This one is definitely a house. That one's a house across the street. All these are houses. Yeah, these are probably close to $1 million houses. Okay. Well, here's a bike lane. But what's on Colfax? Colfax is a major artery through Denver. It is often referred to as, at one point, the longest road in North America, I think, because it does go out east about 50 miles. And that is some kind of school. And I think it's a beer garden or something, or a restaurant. All right, so again, I'm looking for a bike lane. But this is Colfax. It is one of the oldest parts of Denver, like one of the first big roads, and everything just kind of built off of it. Oops. Again, I was kind of looking for a bike lane, but I don't see one, so we'll just have to pop on the sidewalk here a little bit. But it's like I was saying, it's a little older, it's a little bit more worn in, it's a little bit cheaper for a lot of businesses, even though you got $1 million houses, you know, a couple blocks away. I actually used to work, I don't see what Pearl Street is, but I used to work at Pearl Street and 19th. So we're on Colfax's technically 15th, so 4 blocks north. Up here a little bit, I think. But yeah, you got a lot of people in Colorado, in the Denver area, that won't even come anywhere near Colfax because they just consider it crime and grime. When it is, again, just a little bit worn in. It's got that older, you know, aesthetic to it. But there's nothing bad here. I mean, you know, I don't know if I'd walk around here at 3 o'clock in the morning wearing a giant gold chain. Or, you know, big diamond earrings. See, these houses are falling apart. To my left, you can't see them. But, yeah. Oops. I thought they had the green light. Damn, that's the only reason I stopped. Oh, is that a bus station they're putting in there? With the Archie thing over here? That's new. Or at least new from the last time I've seen it. And you can take Park Avenue here and it'll take you all the way back to where I started, but we're not going that way, we're going straight. Looking both ways, making sure I'm not getting run over. But yeah. There's also a hospital over here a few blocks to the north. I forget what the name of it is. But yeah, I kind of like this, you know, worn in, lived in neighborhood stuff versus the cookie cutter, you know, highly tailored houses of the suburbs, especially suburbs like Parker and Highlands Ranch and stuff. So you can see the, oh, thank you. You can see the state capitol building up ahead. There was one of these buildings to my left that was a, and we haven't gotten close to it yet, but we were driving down here one day. Oh, that place shut down. Okay. I've been in this building, but it was years ago. I used to be an account manager for a janitorial company, and one of our part-time customers was up there on like the 2nd or 3rd floor. All right, another little bar here. Oops. Excuse me. Liquor store. But yeah, one of these buildings up here, and it may be tore down. I mean, it's been years since this happened, but I was driving by when I worked for that aforementioned janitorial company as the account manager. We were driving by one day. We weren't even visiting the account we just passed. Yeah, I think they're putting in train stations. Make it easier for trains to stop without having, or not train stations, bus stations. Make it easier for buses to stop without having to block traffic, which is, I mean, they should have done decades ago, but, you know, what do I know? I'm just somebody who, you know, thinks things through. But, yeah, dude, we're driving down here. The owner of the company was driving. I was in the passenger seat, or maybe even in the back seat. I don't remember. But we're coming through, and I'm just looking around because usually when I'm driving through here, I'm driving. So I'm looking out for pedestrians. I'm looking out for bicyclists. I'm looking out for cars that think they need to. There's the Ogden Theater. I've been to a couple concerts here. You're looking for cars that think that they're special and they can cross 3 or 4 lanes of traffic on their, real quick before they hit you, that kind of thing. But I'm looking up and I see in the window of one of these, I don't know if it's an apartment or if it was I guess we can do that. I see this guy riding in the street. I look up and this guy, is shirtless. He's a young kid, probably 18, 19, 20, somewhere in there, standing shirtless in the window. And I'm like, okay, he's at home or it's a hotel or whatever. And then I notice he's, without further ado, he's pleasuring himself in the window looking out over the street. And it's like, is this really happening? Am I really seeing? Oh, here's the one up on the place. Okay. I knew it was down here somewhere. I just never been to this one. I've been to the one down south. I'm just kind of following this guy right now, hoping he knows where he's going. And we're going to jump inside here just to avoid being hit by traffic. So this place right here is called Champagne Tiger, or I guess it used to be called Champagne Tiger. It used to be a different diner. I forget what it was called. But Pearl Street, you go 4 blocks north and my office was right there. So I'd walk down here and go to this diner and stuff on a regular basis. And it wasn't even me. It was the guy I was replacing. He got me into it. Because we had a week of double coverage, and he was like, yeah, I come in every morning, I check in, and then I go up here and have breakfast, and then I come back to the office and I start responding to emails and stuff. It's like, oh, okay. And this church is very historic as well in the Denver area. It's been here forever. I think like a cardinal or a pope or something came here once, which is, if you're, and it might have been this building directly to my left here, or this red and white one up ahead that did that, where I saw that dude. The Anti-Genius League, that's funny. Yeah, I think it was like this building here to my left with the brick and the white. Oh, yeah, that dude went, I'm not going. I'm gonna pull over here and wait. I've almost been hit today and I'm done with that. How's it going? But there's the state capitol. And as you know from yesterday's ride, the city capitol is right over here. You can see the top of the tower there. If it weren't so hazy, you'd even be able to see the mountains a little bit better. Oh. So yeah. Jump over here on the sidewalk just for my own safety. And that was ice cream or something I just ran through, so, fun, he said sarcastically. This says I have 9 seconds, nobody's in the turn lane, so we're going. This guy apparently decided he saw me coming and decided he had to be on that side, so I had to move to the other side. This dude's pants are pulled down. And because I had to go through these people, I missed the light. But it's okay. There's the Denver Post building. And the other day we came up this way and I went that way. We're not going to do that today. And right there's that mayor building that they illegally named. And it was somewhere around here I saw those no people signs because, you know, Denver's gotten to the point where, you know, if you need to sit down or something, you can't. It's, you know, it's all to no stopping, no standing. You know, the people used to sit around this fountain, but they don't do that anymore because they got a little fence there. But it all used to be open, and now to fight homelessness, because homeless people are apparently America's new big bad. You can't be mad at gays or transgender or black people or Hispanics or whatever, but you can still be mad at homeless people. Because, you know, we have to have an enemy. I actually think there's I thought there was a bike path. Yeah, there's a bike path on the other side of the street. So at the next intersection, I'll cut over. Because this is now 14. Or no. Is this 14? Yeah, this is 14th. I'm fairly certain. Oops. Let's go that way. So that we can go this way. All right. You can see it's a little bit busier here than it is on a Sunday. And this is new. What is that? Is that just designed to keep people from, like, going through the intersection real fast? All right, one-way street. Nobody's coming from the one-way. So we keep going. I would love to go down the 16th Street Mall, but like I said, I saw those signs that said no bikes, no scooters, no skateboards. So while the cops might turn a blind eye over here just because you're out not bothering anybody, they will not turn a blind eye on the 16th Street Mall because bicycles are bothering everybody, apparently. Dun, 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 dun. Me giving that car the right of way. This dude saying, screw that. Yeah. And we are going downhill, a slight sloping downhill slope right here. So I'm not pedaling very hard. And Denver Gem Show. I want to go to that. I did not know Meow Wolf had that special show. That sign's out of date. It's August 26, 2025, and that sign said the show ended on August 27th, or August 9th, sorry, 2025, so it ended a while ago. And I haven't updated the sign yet. Here's the building I used to work in. I've shown you guys that building a couple times. I didn't used to work in it so much as I had to go there for work occasionally. If I ever find, you know what, this is as good a place as any to go north. But that building right there, the low one, that is the Mint. Oh, well, the guy says it's okay to go, so we are going. And again, I don't like to be out here because you know, if a car door opens, you're screwed. If somebody decides they want to go faster than you or clip you or something, you're screwed. But here's the 16th Street Mall. Looks relatively finished. And we'll go up here to the next westbound light, or westbound bike path, sorry, not light. Which I thought was going to be 17th here, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, bike paths across the street. I'm only following these guys because we can either cross one way and wait, or cross this way and wait shorter. With the bike paths over there. Look at that building. Oh, you can't see it very well, what I'm looking at. There we go. And I don't know what that company is. XACTLY, exactly. Never heard of it. Alright, are we gonna get the light? Yeah, we got the light. So, and then we'll go south towards Union Station, which is directly straight ahead. The road ends at Union Station. Yeah, I gotta figure out what's going on with my workouts. Since I changed gyms, the workouts have gotten lame. Like, I don't feel it. I don't feel like working out. I don't, get to the gym and, pump hard or anything. I don't know what the deal is. But I went back to my old gym last week for a couple of days, and I was back in the zone. Like, pushing to muscle failure and, working out my muscles and, like, making sure I'm hitting all the groups that I'm hitting that day and blah, blah, blah. Well, this new gym, it's the same gym family. It's just, they're all franchises, so it's a different gym. But, like, the energy's different. It's weird. It's, it's just, it's, I don't know. It's just, I get there and I don't feel like working out. Oops. Oh. Thought I had room, but I don't. I guess I did. So, that sign said, I'm supposed to be going the other way, but whatever. Am I actually going to make this light? Woohoo! But yeah, I'm just not feeling it. And and I've said it before, I'm not trying to build more muscle. I'm just trying to maintain and lose some fat. But yeah, I get to the gym, I do all the workouts, it just doesn't feel the same. I don't know what the deal is. This guy's on a one wheel. I'm really close to buying one of those. Oops, excuse me. But but I wasn't sure I'd be able to ride one with my back and hip problems. So, I'm gonna go this way. Because I don't want to get stuck in another one of those neighborhoods that I can't get out of because they don't make any sense. Hey, puppy. Guy's sleeping in a doorway. I read something this morning on the news that said Denver's really going to start going after homeless people now. Oops. I like turned green. I didn't think I was going to be able to stop in time because, again, this thing doesn't stop at a reasonable rate. The brakes are weak for the size of the bike. That's kind of cool, though. Some somebody strung up some lights in that alley. Looks like a concert bus and a concert hall. The Summit, this used to be a dance club. I tried to get a friend to go one night and he threw a fit because it was a hip hop club. And he didn't want to go there. He didn't want to be... I found out that night that he's a lot a bit racist. Like, we always went to clubs and stuff. This is back in my 20s. We always went to clubs and stuff. We were, both Army veterans, both in decent shape, both had good jobs, making good money. And he, we were walking around one night trying to figure out where to go, and I was like, well, the music coming out of there is really good. Let's go there. And he threw a fit talking about how it was too dark to get in there, and I was like, dude, all the clubs are dark. That's the idea, is that you don't really see who you're talking to. He goes, no, it's too dark in there. And I was like, yeah, that's because they dim the lights in all the clubs, dude. It's just how clubs work. Like, I didn't understand why he didn't get it. And then he starts stroking his arm. He's like, no, it's too dark. Like, literally saying, the skin tones are too dark. And I was like, oh. And that's when I started thinking about a lot of things. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, he never wants to hang out with my black friends. Whenever I say, hey, I'm going out with so-and-such, do you want to come? He always said no. And I noticed he would go to just about any club as long as it did not have hip-hop. Because hip-hop draws black people. And it really shook me because, we had a lot in common. Except, he got out of the military as a racist, which I still don't understand how that happens, and I did not. But I wasn't a racist when I went in, so. So here's Coors Field to the left. That's where the Rockies play. Spent a lot of time in the Sandlot Brewery here when I took the beer and spirits class at Metropolitan State University. We came down here to use the brewery because the school didn't have it. At the time, the school did not have its own brewery, so we had to come back and use. Okay, so it's been 10 miles. I'm not going to hit 15 miles today. So I don't think I'm 4 miles, 5 miles away from where I'm going. And I just hit the 10-mile mark. I might go for a little bit further of a ride when I get up to the South Platte Trail. Just to add some time. Okay, well, I don't know if you're going, dude, so I'm gonna go. Pizza, sandwich, joint, and bar. Oh, pizza, sandwich, joint. Okay, I thought it was saying it's a safe place to come grab a beer and a pizza and smoke. Because Colorado passed, I even voted for it, having never had marijuana. Passed the legalization of marijuana. It's a state amendment, but you can only use it in your home or in somebody else's home with their permission. There was no legal place to use it in public. You couldn't go to a park and use it. You couldn't use it in your car while driving, which makes sense. Church of Scientology again. I mean, don't get me wrong. All religions are batshit crazy, but sometimes you take that as a challenge instead of a warning. And Scientologists took it as a challenge. Somebody's moving in here. Little van lifer van. But yeah, so there's been talk since that amendment passed about creating new rules for people to be able to use, to have smoking lounges, like cigar lounges. Like smoking lounges for people that want to go out in public and smoke with or enjoy THC with people that they normally would not socialize with. So it became a thing. No, go, 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 go. Dude, you're blocking traffic. I came to a full stop and the dude tried to stop and tell me to go. Are you fucking kidding? Pardon my French. Are you kidding? Like, keep going. I'm gonna go straight on this road for a little bit. Once I can cross safely. So I think I've been through that neighborhood to some extent, but not a large extent. But yeah, so when I saw that sign about the sandwich joint, I was thinking it was pizza, sandwiches, joints, and beer. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's a safe place for people to go and smoke while they're having a slice of pizza or something. Because Colorado got rid of restaurant and bar smoking like 20 years ago, which I was a huge fan of and still am. I told my sister about it because when I was home in Florida, she took me to a bar and I was like, yeah, I can't stay here. She's like, why not? And I was like, well, because of the smoke. She goes, well, don't they have bars in Denver? And I was like, yeah, but we don't smoke in them. Well, it's against the law. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, I didn't realize it was a trick question. But yeah, they banned smoking in bars and restaurants in Colorado because, you know, you can't control the smoke. No matter what you do, you can't control the smoke, and you force people to smoke around you. Or you force people who don't smoke to smell your smoke. So when I was home in Florida and she took me to a bar in Florida at the time, I'm not sure now, at the time you could still smoke in bars and restaurants. And I had mentioned that I don't like the smoke, and she's like, well, what do you do in Colorado? And I was like, it's banned. And she's like, they banned smoking? Yeah, pretty much everywhere in public. She's like, that's ridiculous. How do people even live there? I was like, well, we're a healthier, more active group of people, so it has never been a problem. And, you know, nobody likes smokers. Oh, Rivian dealership. So I've been to the Rivian repair shop. I had an appointment in an area and I had about a half an hour to kill between parking and the actual appointment. So I went and walked around and found the Rivian repair shop by accident. I went to this place. It's now called Bierstadt Lager House. Okay. Because it literally means beer city, beer house. Or type of beer house. Yeah. But, lots of graffiti. Yeah, I went there, met a guy there years ago. We were both part of the same group. And we went down there and he had an open invite for a group meet. Like an informal group meet. He just wanted to, basically he wanted to brag about himself. Because it was a group where we did things, you could collect points. And all he did, I was the only one that showed up. And all he did the entire time was brag about how many points he had. And it's like, okay, nobody cares, dude. He's like, yeah, but I'm at a much higher level than you. And I'm like, again, nobody cares. We're here to just kind of BS and share stories and stuff, not just a brag sesh. And he's like, well, you know, you could be like me if you tried harder. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't come here to get the hard pitch multi-level marketing thing, even though this was not a multi-level marketing. This was so you know how like Yelp and Google Maps have reviews? This was a group for people who review places on Google Maps. That's all it was. And he liked to brag about how many points he had, because with different amounts of points, you can access, or you get different levels, and different levels can get, you know, swag from Google and stuff. I've been invited to a few Google events because of my points. Sometimes it's, yeah, you have a ticket to come out to California and, you know, visit our campus and come to our, you know, year-end party. You have to come out here yourself and you have to pay for your own hotel room, but you can come out here if you want. You have a ticket, you have a space. That kind of thing. Like I have t-shirts and they've given me stickers and swag and things before when they're, because Google Maps used to, I'm not sure if they still do, they used to have an office here in Denver. So, because I've been to that office too, I got invited up there for a meet and greet. How are you using Google Maps? What features would you like to see? Blah, blah, blah. Because I was a large contributor. I still am. I had a guy a couple years ago, and he's a guy that I know in person. He used to live here in Colorado. He moved his family to Texas because he said it was cheaper, even though he disagreed with all of Texas politics. But he I don't know, he felt braggy one day. He got on social media, and he took a picture of like his review views. Like, how many people have looked at your reviews? And he goes, oh, look at me, I'm at 1.3 million views. And I was like, cool. And he goes, yeah, it's awesome. I've never met anybody with this many. And I was like, are we really measuring? Because it doesn't matter, but here. And I pulled out, and I shot a screenshot of my views. And I was at like 36 million. And he's like, oh, damn, okay. So I'm bragging to the wrong people. And I was like, no, dude, we all start somewhere. I'm at 39 million now. Because I checked the other day, because I was, when I went to that quilt museum, I asked if I could take pictures, and they said, yeah, sure, for your own personal use. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. I do some reviewing on Google. I review locations, and you know what? I think I want to go across that bridge, which is going to involve me turning around. And it's going to involve me... Oops. Oh, plenty of space. Probably going up an elevator. Once I figure out how to get over there. But, yeah. Here we go. So, but yeah, but I was at this museum last Friday, and asked to take the pictures and talk to the people, and I said, yeah, I do reviews online. And they said, oh, really? And I said, yeah. And I pulled out, just for cred purposes, so they didn't think that I was, just some half-assed influencer trying to get special consideration or something. I pulled out and I showed. I said, yeah, see? So, on the way down, I started my ride. I was actually on this trail going that way. So, I went under this bridge instead of over it, like I am going to try and do now. Just for giggles. But yeah, so I didn't do it to brag. I just did it to say, hey, look, when I say that I do this, I am legitimately saying that I do this. I'm not just some wannabe influencer who, sorry, the bike's a little long for the elevator here. I'm not a wannabe influencer who's just trying to get special access, by pulling that whole I'm an influencer card. Because I don't consider myself an influencer. I just write reviews, and I keep them as objective and honest as possible. Now, sometimes you just can't do that. Sometimes the product or service is just so incredibly bad. You're like, I can't even pretend to be objective here. But a lot of times it's not. A lot of times you're fine. So I believe, if you can see off into the distance, you can see those buildings way out there. That's across the street. I believe the taller of those buildings is the one that we saw at City Park and said, oh shoot, that's a tall building. So yeah, we're gonna go over the train tracks here. Actually, here comes the A train. It's gonna go right underneath us. That's the A train. That's the one that'll take you to the Denver airport. I've been on it. It's okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a nice train. but it goes from downtown to the airport. That's it. And we're just gonna go to the other side. I wonder if I should try and go down the, yeah, I think I will. Try and go down the stairs instead of the elevator, just to see. I didn't want to try and push this 80-pound bike up the stairs, but let's see what happens. We'll put it on, you know what? I don't want to do that. Oh, dead pigeon. Oh, that's a shame. I don't know if it died from poison or if it died from old age or what. So, and now we go down. Butcher Block Cafe over there, if you can see it. I've been by it a few times. I've never been there, but it has great reviews. I'd love to try it just to see if the food's any good. But I'm trying not to eat out too much these days because I'm trying to shed some poundage. Trying to be healthy. Oopsie. All right. Even though this is a step-through bike, I bought it that way so I didn't have to, because I have leg and hip issues and back issues, so I didn't have to swing a leg up over it all the time. I still find myself trying to swing a leg up over it all the time because it's just habit, especially from riding motorcycles and stuff. I don't see a way out of here that's easy without going this way. And then I don't know if you saw it in the when we were going up the elevator, but take a look at this building. Not that one. That one. Looks like one of those interesting buildings, that interesting architecture you find in like China or Taiwan or something, where they just, you know, have fun with the building design. I think it's great because I like the uniqueness. When if you look at this building right here, you can go anywhere in Colorado and find 100 buildings just like it. You know, they may not be as tall, or they may be taller, they may be more rectangular and less square, but they're there. All right. Just trying to make sure because of the cars on the street, I can't see around them to see if anybody's coming. That's why we were going so slow. The Forge. The Forge. I believe this is the Pepsi plant, which used to be so far north Denver, and now it's like in the middle of the Rhino District. But it used to be one of those things where, you know, nobody ever came this far north because there was nothing up here. Oopsie. So I did turn off my pedal assist while I was going up and down the elevators because there's no reason for it. Which is why we started off so slow. And you can see I-70 up ahead. Well, maybe you can't unless you're on a big screen, but I can see I-70 up ahead, which isn't that big of a deal. Food, beer, bar. Across from Mission Ballroom. Oh, Left Hand Brewing. I'm not a big fan of Left Hand Brewing beers. I've had a few over the years. Then I don't like the flavor profile. I went to a brewery the other day, Sunday, where I met. That's where Michael Bennett had his meet and greet, was at a brewery. And I went in and I ordered, I went up to the bar to ask, to order a beer. And I was like, do you have anything like a Hefeweizen? And the guy goes, I got nothing even close. Closest I got is one of these Belgian wheats. And I was like, yeah, it's not the same. He goes, do you want one? And I was like, no, it's not the same. I want a Hefeweizen. He goes, well, I don't have a Hefeweizen. So I ended up ordering a red lager, which was okay. But when you're in the mood for something and they don't have it, you know, nothing else will really do. It's like I'm in the mood for steak. Oh yeah, we only serve chicken here. Okay, well, chicken's not the same as steak. You know. Or I'm in the mood for lasagna. Great, let's go to a pho place. Pho is not even close to lasagna. Oh, hey puppy. Hey. Again, we're just kind of exploring here. Let's see if UPS can not hit me. That'd be great. So I don't know if you saw the sign, but we just passed the Forney Car Museum. I went there a couple weeks, maybe a month ago now. It's always a good time if you like cars, if you like transportation. It says bike path ends right here. So we will cross and then we'll go left. Sorry, trying to get to the button. So, that says there's a mineral fossil gem show a couple weeks ago. The big one's not until September, but apparently there was one literally like 2 weeks ago. I did not know that, or else I would have gone. But the Denver Coliseum, and across the highway there is the Western National Complex, or National Western Complex. Places where, they do the stock show at the Western Complex. So in January, it'll be wall-to-wall cowboys, horses, and cows. Because they come in from, Montana, Wyoming, Nebraska, Kansas, Texas. They all come here. And they'll do rodeos and, the mutton stomping or whatever that's called. And they'll do a bunch of other little things for entertainment purposes. But, yeah. All right, we'll go over here. Actually, should have gone down that one, but just for the cinematic quality. Nobody's coming that way, nobody's coming that way. But yeah, all of this to the right is the National Western Complex. And they'll do shows and stuff there too. I've been to animal shows over here where, a lot of animal supply companies will come and talk about their products and how they're the best for cats and dogs or birds or whatever. They do a lot of hot tub shows over here, like quarterly. Hear them on the radio all the time, oh yeah, lowest prices of the year, come check out our hot tubs. And it's like, okay. Things like that. They'll even do concerts and stuff over here occasionally, especially like country concerts. Oh, what are all those tents over there? That's interesting. I don't know what those tents are. Off to the left, if you can't see them. They look like maybe vendor tents or something. See, the reason we're here is because once we go under this bridge, we'll almost be back to where I started. It is almost 12 o'clock. You know what? I'll go back and then maybe hit a bike ride later this afternoon, because the afternoons, early evenings, if it's not raining, it has been fairly quiet for me. I can't see anything in here except the exit between it being dark and my sunglasses. It's very trashy in here though. I was less worried about trash than I was, you know, running over a homeless person. Oh, excuse me. All right. So right on the other side of this, and supposedly over here, at least there used to be like a world-renowned steak restaurant. But I don't know exactly where it's at. I never really knew how to get there. I don't know if they shut it down or whatever, because it is kind of out of the way, and if you don't know it's there, you don't know it's there. And down it is. I was not about to go up that. Yeah, so right here, this trail off to the right-hand side is a lot of times where I catch the South Platte River Trail, and I go south from here. You can't get through to go north from here. You got to go around and go up the block a little bit. So, but yeah, it's noon. The largest chance of rain today was between like noon and 6 a.m. And while it doesn't look like it's going to rain right now, I don't want to go another 5 or 6 miles just to have a storm pop up real quick and catch me off guard. So we are at, I guess, 13 miles right now. So say 15 miles, maybe close to 16 by the time I get back. Then I'll have a bite to eat. I mean, I made some sausage after the gym this morning, but like when I say some sausage, I mean I took a link, sliced it up, and made it. And when we're talking like a 7 or 8 inch link. But I slice it up, fry it up, and then eat it. So I did that, and then I made a smoothie. I need to figure out a better, I'm just putting fruits and vegetables and stuff in there right now, which is A-okay, but I need to figure out a better option. Because it's lacking something, and I don't know what it is. The smoothies I made yesterday and today, there's just something missing. Giant truck stopped for me, so the least I can do is go. Because he didn't have to stop, it wasn't a crosswalk or anything. But that's what I mean. Like that semi-truck stopped for me. Okay. But when I took that, tried to cut across that street real quick before the oncoming traffic came, they took off and tried to run me over. So completely different experiences. Like, I was not trying to stop traffic. I was waiting on the side of the road just for traffic to go. It would have cleared up in a second and given me plenty of access. All he had to do was keep going. I think like 4 or 5 cars behind him, it was wide open. Met a guy in a motorized wheelchair. He was wearing an Air Force hat. I haven't seen him in a while, actually, so I don't know what happened to him, but he would come around. He had a little dog, like a Dachshund or a little terrier type or whatever, and he said he would use his little motorized wheelchair and just bring his dog out to this park and motor around while the dog ran around and stuff, which I thought was great, because a lot of people that are in wheelchairs or with pushers or whatever that have the assistance dogs don't really do anything with their dogs. Like, they don't let them be dogs. So, anywho, yeah, we're coming up on the end of the ride here. I only got like maybe a mile and a half left to go, which I'm going to bump it up to pedal assist high here in a second and kind of get it over with. So thanks for coming along again. I hope you enjoyed checking out Denver again. And, we'll try and do something. As long as the weather is holding out, we'll try and do something every day that I can. Like not later this week. Next week I have there's a day where I have a couple of appointments, like a 9 o'clock in the morning doctor's. Oh no, I need to cross here. Like a 9 o'clock in the morning doctor's appointment, and then like a 3 o'clock in the afternoon doctor's appointment. So I won't be probably riding that day because I won't be coming back just to ride, just, you know, go to another appointment on the same side of town. So, but yeah, barring weather and things like that, we're going to try and get out as often as I can before it gets too cold. And then we'll see. I'm not afraid to ride in the cold, but it will require me finding some thicker gloves and maybe something to keep my ears warm. I hate hoodies, and I hate having my ears covered because I use my ears a lot for navigation. Tell me if somebody's behind me or to the left or right of me or whatever. So, anywho, again, thanks for coming along this ride, and we will, oops, I'm not going to try and cut this fan off because I don't know what the hell he's doing, or if he's going straight because it's, oh, there is a stop sign here, okay. I wasn't sure there was a stop sign here. And that car, and that space is for lease if you need space. Yeah, I did not realize there was a stop sign here. All right, cool. Thanks for coming along, and we'll chat again later.